Good morning, friends. Today I am here with you to share my experiences about utility of the rubrics and how to arrive at the particular rubrics. In one of our lectures, I described about the particular situations and were required for becoming aware of the rubrics conversion system. It is one of the most crucial and most thoughtful subject that needs due consideration, repeated thoughts to arrive at a particular, because matching the rubrics with the symptoms is necessary. What is there, what is being told to you by the patient, exactly they are the same and they must have the same representation through the rubrics. When you are converting the symptoms into rubrics, the symptoms has got the limitations of the expression of the patient, what he says and what he feels and what are your understanding. This is the limitations. What you have understood the patient, what the patient has understood that, and what he mean to say. Because sometimes meaning is not being properly understood by the doctor, because so many features are there that prevent him, because patients are describing in their own terminology. Sometimes they are trying to hide, sometimes they are trying to exaggerate, sometimes they do different way methods to show speak out. This is our speaking problem, and that is very much individualistic in nature. We all have our own way of talking. We all have our own way of communications, and this individuality becomes one of the greatest hindrance in arriving at the right conclusion about the symptoms. Sometimes the patient means to say something and we get understood that it is something. And these situations can be clarified with subsequent and different way of listening. With asking the same thing at the different platform. Suppose you have asked the symptoms while you are considering the mental symptoms, then again you can repeat it at any other points, but not in the same manner, but in the another manner, so that you can get a confirmation that what he spoke or what he understood and what you have understood was correct. So this, first you have to understand the patient. First you have to perceive the patient's language, and then after considering those aspects, you have to go into the repertory. Now, as I told you earlier also, and today also I want to tell that rubrics are the precise information. It is just a meaningful and very after that, and it includes a wider area where many of the rubric symptoms can be included. Different type of the rubrics can be, different type of the symptoms can be included. Suppose you have experienced, you have felt that patient is very much sympathetic in nature, and so you can go for the sympathetic right now. But this is not the patient sympathetic nature is not enough, because you have to know how he is sympathetic, in what way he is sympathetic. At some places in the repertory, the sympathetic has been supported by other rubrics like benevolence, love for other, and so many things, and they are they are usually given under the cross reference. So benevolence is something different, and sympathetic is the wide application, and benevolence has got the limitation. So the purpose of this presentation of the rubrics are like to bring the cap or to make you arrive at the right conclusion. So when you first start with the wider rubrics, then you arrive at the smaller rubrics, giving the particular meaning of that rubrics there, so that you can get a better understanding and better sharing of the your information into through the repertory. So this process is a lengthy process, and it needs due time and considerations the several factors. And these factors are important so that you can have a better arrive at the right point of medicines. The purpose are always same. Purpose is to arrive at the right simillimum, and right simillimum has got a wide gap because similar expressions are found in different type of the medicines. They have the similarity, but their individual expressions are very much particular for the medicines. And our requirement is to arrive at the particular informations related to the patient ones. Identifying, portraying the patient through the repertory and through the medicines is important. See, in a casual manner, you cannot do it outright. Simply looking at the patient and you put it the rubrics and you get confirmed that this is the medicine. Even the well-selected medicines that you have chosen after undertaking 5 to 10 rubrics, and the medicines, one medicine comes out and that becomes false, that becomes wrong. So these aspects are very much important. There should be the right representations, and it can be done only when you have considered the various factors of the each symptoms that is there in the patient, each symptom, and their symptoms related to the patient, and his circumstances and his situation. Suppose you are feel that the anger. Now, is it? Can you say that the this anger is a should be included into the repertory? But why this rubrics has been placed? Only to draw your attention towards the any relationship of the patient with the anger. So when you get understanding of the patient has got the main criteria life dominating around the anger, that means he is an angered person, but anger is expressed in a rightly way, different way. It is not the one way. Some patients are very silent when they keep down their feelings and they suppress their anger. Some patients are outburst in nature. Some patients are abrupt in nature, and some patients are sympathetic in nature. So a person is very sympathetic, but he gets angry easily. How you can put? You have to combine. You have to combine that sympathetic, yet he is getting anger. And anger, why he is getting anger? Because it is the outburst of the love or outburst of the hatred. You become angry when you love more, and you become angry when you hate more, and you become angry when you dislike something or when you like something. In either way, you are becoming angry. But what was the purpose? What was the reason for exciting you to become angry? Out of the love, you are getting angered. People say, no, it should not be like that. But yes, people used to become angry about their children. Why? Because their purpose and is to correct the mistakes of the child. It is out of the love. And that is not the real expressions. You have to take the real expressions of the anger. The purpose is that he is very much concerned with the welfare of his children, his quality of the patient, to correcting the mistakes and wrongs that he is committing into his life. So this commitment is this. And then one people, I don't like this one, and what you are being provoked by someone to the same thing, you become irritated, and then it become outburst. So anger has got the outburst, anger has got the silent, and anger has got the weeping tendency. So it is not the individual symptoms. It has to be supported and complemented by the subrubrics. There are some subrubrics within each rubrics. Subrubrics and 4 or 5, many subrubrics within each of the symptoms. And they have got the limitations because these subrubrics are related to the individual perceptions of the physicians of those era. But many of the subrubrics are not included and not to be observed in the report. Why? Because it has not been understood. It has not been experienced by our former masters. So they have not given the emphasis. They have taken only the broad one. But gradually you see in later repertory, some rubrics are getting expanded. Some rubrics are getting enhanced. And this expansion is a continuous process. Yet it is not complete. And there are many places where no subrubrics are there. In an earlier stage, the fastidious was alone, it has got no subrubrics. Now we have started, the authors have started adding subrubrics in the fastidious. So it is gradually coming up. Accumulations of experiences are gradual process. But how you can utilize your own experience during your personal practice life, where it is not available in the repertory, you have to create a sub-rubrics in your mind and then implement later on as a sub-rubrics. A man who is sympathetic but angered. A man sympathetic, but he has got the hatred for particular things. So these psychological aspects you have to study and live with. You have to learn listening to the patient properly. Taking and devoting time with the patients is necessary when you are talking about the patient's life. So it is intervening in such a way that patients don't get irritated, and you get understood the meaning what he want to express. The expression and exaggerations are different process, and they have got their own way for everyone. It is a communication pattern which get involved while we are considering the symptoms. So, and communications has got the two way, one listening and one speaking. So both way. Communications is your case taking process is a conversation where you listen to the patient and then you reply to the patient. And you have to ask to the patient, you have to question, you have to listen, and you have to understand at the same time. And this is a process related to the case taking process. And this case taking process is, if it is complete, you can get the complete answer of the further rubrics. Otherwise, rubrics becomes a difficult subject or a controversial, or you can use the confusion of the rubrics. This is one area which is very much being utilized and practiced, and mistakes are being committed by the physicians. Many times we are sharing we are basing our experience, learning on the experiences of the past master. It is right. It is quite right. We have to follow our ancestors. But what was their situations and what is our present situations, it is different. And in our present life, the things may not be the same. It has got changed. And change scenario, trying to convert or translate those experiences of the past is very crucial matter. You have to relate the things and then you have to use it. So this relating is the phenomena that needs to be practiced when you are, it is a logical implementation. So sometimes it is logical, but many a time it is not logical. It is based on the observations, observed facts and the logical facts. The facts are different type. We have what we see, they become the facts, but many things that we don't see, we arrive at through the logics. And in your repertory, you will find both the observed facts and the logical applications. Like the rubrics, you say, carrot desired to be. Now you come to the sub-rubrics within it. Fast. On the soldiers. On the soldiers. We want to be put on the soldiers and carry. Fast. Slow movement. So these are facts. So what does it mean? It cannot be interpreted for other matters, because sub-rubrics included are basically behind the main theme of the rubrics. Carried desired to be fast may not be considered as carried to be desired to be fast in every aspect of the life. Every aspect of the life. No, it should not be, because it has got the limited. Light desire. And you say, the sub-rubric says candlelight. Some say bright light, sunlight. So these are the observed facts. These are the observed facts. So these rubrics should not be interpreted for the other logical applied mind. Mind it, I say that we have to use the logical and we have to use the factuals. So these two facts, our understanding and our learning and repertory is based on the two facts of observed facts and the logically applied facts. So logical applications and observed facts are two aspects. Logical are the interpretations, what is being expressed and converted and applied into the different area. Where the observed facts are the fact that is there, and it don't need any considerations, any any type of the meaning to be applied to it. Suppose you want that your pain is getting better by pain is getting better by warm applications. Now, what logic you are trying to put? Everywhere he wants to put the logic. Although the repertory was designed by our masters like Bonifacius to make a grand generalizations. But grand generalizations is the purpose where a general symptoms is being created based on two or more similar facts. Two or more similar facts. So again, these symptoms also have got a wider application, and this grand generalization get individualized or supported by the particular symptoms. So in the actual practice, what you find, the patient seems to be very hot. He don't like the cold, but at a particular place, like in the head pain or it may be the leg pain, where he wants the cold application. So if you take the patient as a hot patient or heat aggravates in general, then how you can arrive at a patient, that type of the patient whose headache is better by the cold applications or whose leg pain is better by the cold applications? It is not possible. That's why I say that you have to be very much logical in understanding applications of your rubrics. Because rubrics has to be the applied aspect based on the practical reality or need of the patient. Practical applicability and the need of the patient. This is the essential factor that needs more consideration for the rubrics. Friends, These are the very important things. These are the very basic facts that is very much necessary for having a better understanding about our life situations. Life situations are quite different and not same for each of the patients. A patient was in our clinic, and as soon as he entered my chamber, the full room was filled with the fragrance of the scent that the patient has put on his body. Now just see this fragrance, this scent, or has got some meaning or not. A patient who is suffering from acute pain and who is also very much careful about his sensation of the scent. The same person is sensitive about his appearance and is sensitive about the pain. So pain and fragrance combined together. In spite of that severe pain, the patient is using he is coming to your clinic with the too much fragrance on his body. What type of the thoughts may come into your mind? The patient is trying to hide. I'm just telling you one of the situations. He just tried. Why he had used the fragrance? Why he had used the scent? Only to avoid the very dirty smells coming from his body. He don't want to make it observed by the others, or he himself may not be able to tolerate his own dirty or offensive feelings of the either his perspirations, either his ulcer sweat discharges, or the body sweat smelling. So this is one aspect. But the patient who is having the pain with no ulceration, like the headache, and with no discharges coming out, no dirty smells coming from the body, it is a different situation. The situation is important. So what I found, that persons was suffering from the acute menorrhagia type of the problem. It was heavy discharges in between the menstruation also, and whenever the mens was there, it was very much profuse. And when you asked about the menstrual color, its smell and its consistency, that everything was very bright. It was no smell, nothing. It is only the pure blood were oozing out from the vaginal region. So with this, and then again, I thought this person has got no smell now from his body coming out, so that he will try to hide. He just love for the fragrance, love for the perfumes. He was using the perfumes, and this rubrics become one of the dominating features for the patient who has got the menorrhagia, the dominating. So now these two rubrics are the foremost rubrics for your medicine. Love for the perfumes and sub-rubrics related to the menorrhagia. And they will help you in arrive at the right medicine. Similarly, one patient was there with the sciatic pain, and she had put a lot of the ornaments on the body, and she was very gorgeous dressing was there. And this was the fact. This was the fact. I thought the patient is not, she is not the patient. Someone will be the patient. But when it said that, doctor, I have a pain in my leg, it is like that. It was the sciatic nerve presentations. So I thought with this pain, he is able to manage his this nature. Yes, definitely. This is just a controversial situation, and that needs considerations. So what you see in the patient, what is there in the patient, you have to combine them. You have to associate them so that you can get the right medicines. Combining and associating is one of the important practice that helps you in arriving or making your own rubrics. Making your own rubrics. This is personalization of the rubrics. I say personalization. We all have to create our personal rubrics. And these personal rubrics may not be available in your repertory. This personal rubrics comes from your experience and what you have combined and what you have get it associated to arrive to make it a rubric. And in that, and this way the rubrics were sub-rubrics were included in our repertory. And you may in the new repertory like synthesis and other, you may have got the personal repertory. There is a one repertory where you can create, where you can put your own experiences so that you can get a, which may not be available for the others. But until you have a compilation of the personal rubric, how you can make it public, or how you can demonstrate to the, so it is necessary that we must go and adding our own information through the existing information. Our existing informations are the pathway through which we can travel to the right present path. So traveling from past to the present is necessary. Past to the present is necessary. And this process is a part of the rubrics selections and rubrics utilizations and rubrics fixation of the patients. It is not only related to the physical general or the mental general, but for the both places, you need this type of the combination. The patient was very much liking for the sweets. There is one rubric, sweets, and some new rubrics are added. But when I asked what type of the sweets, he said Rasgulla. Can you find the Rasgulla? And he don't like the peda, he don't like the jalebi, only the Rasgulla. Now, is it a desire for the sweets or desire for the Rasgulla? Rasgulla has a particular taste of the sweets, which helps you to arrive at the sweetness, sweet desire. But through the sweet desire, you have to go to the Rasgulla. And drawing a understanding about the Rasgulla has to be created. What is the Rasgulla is made of? Can you say that the food which are prepared from the milk and they are like the from which the Rasgulla is prepared has got the specific desire for that patient? Yes, definitely. And sweetness should be there. But he is taking the Rasgulla only because, not because it is sweet. He is taking the Rasgulla because he likes the sweets. What type of the fruits you like? Patients, I used that. Yeah, all fruits. Then okay, general. It is general. But I like mango only, sir. I like mango only, sir. No other fruits, no other fruits, no apple, no any other sweet food. So now how you can get the meaning of this fruits desire for, or aversion for, vegetables desire for, vegetable aversions for. You have to go into the specific area of that part where from where the taste of Rasgulla is coming, from where the taste of mango is coming, from where the taste of potato is coming. And this will help you in creating a subrubrics. So creating a subrubrics is important aspect for your learning and for your utility purpose, for your practical use of in the clinics. So clinical experiences needs to be very much understood first, because they are the area where you can get the base of the understanding. So I have tried to get into some of the aspects. I will keep coming up with more such experiences for more sharing for future also. So keep listening, and I hope I will be able to add on many more informations related to the conversion of rubrics, sharing of the rubrics, and the new rubrics in later stage also. So friends, keep learning, keep learning. This is the only way where you can make the so now I have come to the end of this session and I'm closing this session, and thank you all for having a very patience listening to me. If you have any questions, try to ask me on my WhatsApp number 9431020622 or on my email ID risdth@gmail.com. I'll be there to reply you and solve your curiosity. Thank you very much.